Hi everyone, it's Jillian and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a story time video about something that seemed very traumatic to me at the time. Now looking back, it wasn't really that big of a deal. So getting into it, it was probably about 4 summers ago, and my family had been looking into buying a boat. And when I first heard about this, I was so excited, guys. I was happy. I was like, yes, I'm gonna have a boat. We're gonna go tubing. We're gonna have all this type of fun. So we go check out this one boat, and it's bright yellow, and I love it because I'm just this young little girl, and I'm just in love with the idea of having a boat, and I'm so excited to get on the water. So me and my brothers convinced my parents to buy a specific boat, and the next day we're like, hey, we got a trailer, we got a boat, we got a hitch to hook it up to the truck. Let's go out on the boat. So we went to this lake. No, not lake. It was a canal, and it led into the ocean. So it was probably about a half hour to 45 minutes going through this canal until you get into the ocean. And when we're about halfway out of the canal, we see that thunderstorms are gathering around us, and we're like, this doesn't look that good. Like, what if it starts storming while we're out there? And me, I'm like, we're gonna die. I had never been on a boat before, and it was just freaking me out. And so we continue to go out because for some reason my parents had the great idea that it'd be fine and nothing bad would happen. So we drive out of the canal probably another 25 minutes later, and we get out to the ocean, and then all of a sudden we see this huge wave of probably about 25 to 35 boats just coming in trying to get back through the canal to where their cars are parked. So if normal people would think, hey, this is a good sign, everyone's going in, we're not experienced boaters, maybe we should go in too. But no, of course my mom and dad are completely psyched about having the boat and want us to have a good time and all that. So we head out, and there's these people in even a smaller boat than us. And my parents are like, see, if they're going out, we'll be fine. They're not going to get hurt. We're not going to get hurt. It'll all be good. Now, where we were, there were no paramedic boats or lifeguard boats or police boats. It was just a whole empty section of sea and this other people in their tiny little canoe thingy. So we were out there for probably about 25 minutes, and it was like thundering. There was no lightning though, so we thought we'd be fine. But the waves were getting kind of choppy, and we have a pretty small boat. I think it's like under 20 feet. And so then we realized, we look around and we're like, gosh, where are these canoe people? They had gone back in the canal. So we're out here completely alone, and we're like, I don't know if this is a good idea. Me here, I'm like, crap, the waves are getting choppy. Like, I love sitting at the front of the boat and like fought my brother for my spot, so I wasn't gonna go sit in the back of the boat when I should have. So little 8-year-old me is like, the waves are pretty choppy, so I'm holding on for dear life. I'm a little bit freaked out. And then all of a sudden, there's lightning. And you look back at my parents' faces, and they're just frozen. They're like they were kind of scared. And my parents are my role models, and if they're scared, that automatically freaks me out a ton. So my dad's like, okay, well, we'll stay out here another half hour. If it doesn't clear up, we'll go back in. Little did he know, we did not have a half hour to spare. So within the next 10 to 15 minutes, lightning striking, but we're a long way back from the canal. We drove out a little bit. These waves are now ginormous, and little 8-year-old me, I thought I was going to drown. I had a life jacket on, but still I was feeling very, very unsafe. And then all of a sudden, all these huge waves were coming and just splashing over my boat, getting water in the boat. I thought, oh my god, too much water is getting in the boat, we're going to sink. And then my dad was picking up speed so we could get in the canal quicker. Now, when you pick up speed and there's really big waves and you have a really small boat, if you don't hit the waves right, your boat will go up. And you will completely be not touching ocean. It's called getting air. And my boat got so much air, and we came down, and I swear I thought I was going to die. I had moved to one of the back seats, like towards the middle of the boat, and I had grabbed onto the side of the couch, so I'm like grabbing onto these handles, leaning completely over, bent in half. I'm freaking out, and I look like this, like a cat being thrown into a pool. I was terrified. There was no one else out there, and once again, I thought I was gonna die. And this was just not a good experience for me, especially for the first time being out in a boat. like out of all my life, I had never been on a boat before that. I'd been on wave runners, but it's always been like calm when we went out on those because you have to be really careful. So I completely was out of my experience zone. We had ended up going back in, and of course, my boat was an inboard motor, so if something gets sucked up inside the motor, then your boat stops working, it gets clogged, and someone has to go down there and pull it out. So this had happened to my boat. A bunch of seaweed from the canal had gotten stirred up and it went underneath, and this canal is like pretty deep. Homes are there, boats have to go in, pretty big boats, so you know the water's deep. So my dad decided to put on some goggles and jump under the boat and go get this seaweed. Now, my dad had been in the Navy, so he knows how to hold his breath for a really long time. And so when he went under, obviously I was already freaking out because I have this huge phobia of sharks. So I was like, sharks, fins, where? Like, I was scared for my dad, and he refused to put a rope around him. So he was down under the water for probably about 30 seconds, and I was freaking out. Of course, my dad was fine. And he came out, and he got a handful of seaweed. And still, it was like scary because while he was under there, my brother had gotten close to the keys. If he would have turned the keys on, it would have turned the motor on. If his hand was up there, it would have gotten cut off, and it was just scary for me. I think it would have gotten cut off. I'm not that sure. But I was terrified, and so we got back in the boat, and of course, it's another 45 minutes drive through the canal to get back where we parked. Of course, such a long time. I was still freaking out. By this time, when you're in a canal, the waves are hitting up against the wall and just going back and forth and back and forth. And it was just making our boat shake like this. Like, it was so unbalanced. I was terrified. I thought I was going to get thrown over the edge and getting eaten by, like, a shark. Like, you know those, like, books where it has the big great whites coming out and the guy, like, puts his nose on the nose of the shark, his hand on the nose of the shark? I thought that was going to happen to me, and I was going to fly out and fly into a great white's mouth. I was terrified, and it was a horrible, horrible experience for me. So if you guys ever get a boat, please do not go out while it's storming, because you will be traumatized for probably the rest of your life 4 years later. So if you guys like this video, give it a big thumbs up and comment down below any of your comments, or if you have any video requests for me. I will list my Instagram, my Twitter, and my Snapchat down below in the link. You guys can go follow those if you want. Alright, that's it for this video. Have a beautiful day. Bye!